How's it going, Johnny?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. And you?
Good. How is everything down south right now? What's going on out there?
Man, it's going on, it's going like uh, places start to open up.
Yeah.
We just opened the academy 2 weeks ago, and things start to get like the new normal.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? I'm a little like I don't like to think of that being as like what it's gonna be like from now on. Is there any idea of like how long
Yeah,
that new normal could be?
to be honest, I don't see much difference now. Like I feel some people, of course, are concerned,
Mm-hmm.
but some people are not.
Yeah.
And I feel like people who really like jiu-jitsu, they are already back to the academy. They're crazy to rolling.
Yeah.
So, you're doing like phases, like phase 1, 2, and 3. You're gonna start your phase 2 Monday.
Okay.
And people are already asking, to start to regular class and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, but man, I think in a near future you're gonna be like okay, like a normal again. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna take too long. I
Yeah.
hope
I,
so.
I think there needs to be a certain point where like we need to accept how it is, or else we're never gonna go anywhere. You
Yeah.
know. For me, actually, I just started training yesterday. I found a partner. Man, I started training.
I think you're going crazy, huh? I know
Dude, I'm
you,
going
man. You
crazy.
like
I
to
was
train
going
a lot.
crazy. I
Yeah.
was going crazy. I've been able to work out and do
And you look,
stuff.
you look like overweight a little bit now, huh? You don't
Yeah.
look featherweight. I think you lightweight, huh?
You know what? Everything I eat goes to my face.
Yeah,
So I,
yeah,
I
I
haven't
know,
been
I
eating
know.
bad, but when I haven't been training, and also it's the
Yeah.
it's the
I
camera it
can
puts
see
on.
when you are cutting weight. It's
You
like,
can tell the difference, right? Yeah.
yeah.
You always stay lean. You always stay, you look in
Man,
shape all the
doesn't matter,
time.
man. To be Johnny, doesn't matter what I eat, man. I keep the same weight. I don't know.
Really? So
Yeah,
I saw is that a Brazilian thing? Because I was talking to Paulo Miao the other
yeah.
day, and he was like, "Yeah, I always stay at 150." I'm like, "How?
Me too,
How?"
man. I like when I, check my weight and I'm 157. I get like, wow, 157. I don't go up like 155. It's always the same weight. Doesn't matter
Yeah,
what I eat, you know. And I don't know. It's like that's the way how I am. I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I
but it's
remember
good, It's
when we
good.
did Kasai, yeah, when we
Yeah.
did Kasai a couple of years ago. I remember we took a photo together with Rich Byrne, and I was way over the weight the day before.
Yeah.
I had about like 10 pounds to go, and I looked at the picture. I'm
I
like,
was
man, I look
145.
so much bigger than him right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not good. This is not. I sat in the
Yeah.
sauna for a very long time,
That day was
but
like, yeah. That day like, I think I was 140. I was 145, right?
yeah, I was
Yeah,
145.
145. I was 147, 148, something like
Nice. You
that.
did you did it right. You did it
Yeah,
right. I did.
I prefer to cut. I prefer to cut at least 1 week before. I don't like to cut like one day before. I feel I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that wasn't the plan for me. I got like
Uh,
sick for 2 days, so I wasn't training or anything. But like, yeah, I remember when I got to the gym like on a Thursday before the weigh-in, I was like 12 pounds over. I was like, oh, this is not good.
it's not
I'm,
good.
I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
That's the way
Rich asked me,
how. That's the way how it was for me and doing during MMA, man. Because MMA,
yeah,
I felt like 135 was really,
man,
really hard, man. For me, it was really
yeah,
hard. That's one of the reasons, like, I say, man, I'm not gonna cut that way anymore. It's too much. Even like when Kazai asked me to fight 135, they
oh,
did
they did,
135, they did. I say, man, no way. Like, it's too brutal.
yeah. I mean, but is it so necessary in MMA? Does it make such a difference to be down those
Yeah,
extra 10 pounds?
yeah. Like, man, to be honest, like, I don't know, because the way how we lose the weight, I feel overall, like, after years, it's not good for our body. It's like it's a health. I feel.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I definitely like I've gotten away from it a little bit. Like I'll fight up more when like there'll be smaller tournaments and stuff. So was it like like the weight cut in MMA that was something that kind of deterred you from it?
Yes, it is,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, definitely. Because it's so hard to fight. Like, if I decide to fight 145, the guy's too big, man. It's
Really?
like, yeah, it's like unreal. Like you're gonna fight people who get down from 185, sometimes 175. You know, it's crazy, man. Look at Durinho. Man, Durinho fight 150. Not right now, but he fought 155. And look his
That's
size.
crazy. Dorino's
Durinho, man.
huge.
Durinho, like, he's probably 189, something like that. At least
Yeah.
185.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no MMA for me. No, how long
Nah.
were, so how long, what time were you doing MMA? I remember there was like a little
And
phase of that, but then you kind of came back.
I had some fights back in 2007, just like feels, just to see how it is.
Yeah.
And then when I really put my focus on was 2012,
Hmm.
2013. Like when
Okay.
I decided, all right, I'm gonna try that, you know. Was
Yeah.
Then I stopped. My last fight was 2000, maybe 2016, I think.
Yeah.
2015, something like that.
Was MMA something you kind of always planned on doing? You know, was that kind of like a trajectory of like doing jiu-jitsu, competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments, and then doing MMA, or was it kind of something that
Not
you wanted to
really.
try?
Not really. Like Godoy, because when I train Godoy, is the type of team they really like MMA. I see a lot of like I mean MMA athletes. They say, man, could be cool, you know. I just like, all right, gonna try. Then
Yeah.
after that, when I started to work with Minotauro, Anderson Silva, and Ramon, and
Hmm.
some camp training, I say, man, I'm gonna, you know, I really had 3 fights. Let's try again. Let's see how goes, you know.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't think it was a smart decision because I was in my prime. I was like in that time when I was feeling really good competing jiu-jitsu, and I did a break. It cost me a lot. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it was a good decision. But anyway, you know, you
Hey,
make a mistake during the
no,
life.
you
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 know,
you learn. That's how you learn, right?
and you learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something I think is an experience I can share with my students now. You know, I feel like it's something I can tell people who ask me about. Uh, but yeah, it's
I,
good.
I do always notice it's like it. Some people do it really well. Some people come back into jiu-jitsu and do very well, but it's not
Yeah,
easy for everybody.
yeah.
What did you feel like? How did it affect you in jiu-jitsu? I mean, of course, maybe you just missed a few years, but how did that really affect your jiu-jitsu that took you maybe a while
Well,
to kind of get back?
man, the first year when I say, man, you know, when I decide, man, I need to get back to jiu-jitsu because this was gonna give me like my future, you know, my life, academy and stuff. I say, man, I need to put my face there again. And
Yeah.
then like was you, Paulo, all the new Isaac, all the new guys, and it's a new challenge. I like back at the time I was one of like the top of the division. Then I need to, you know, like go step by step again. And the first like, the technique changed too much, and the game even like of course me I was like one of the first one play the kind of like the new game of the
Hmm.
division. But as I get back, was a lot of new things going on, you know, a lot of new strategies, and I need to adapt to that. Was hard, man. The first years was really tough, you know. Like
Yeah.
I really like worked very hard to try to get back, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I can imagine. I can even for me, like I've been around long enough where I see the game evolving from when I first got my black belt, and I
yeah,
stayed in it the whole time, and I still see how it's
yeah.
difficult to keep.
So quick.
It
Like
develops so quick. I
yeah,
remember, what was it, like a year or two ago? I was fighting someone who was like his first year at black belt, and they're like, "Oh, Gianni's been a black belt for a long time." I'm like, man, that happened so fast.
yeah. I remember
It's
like when I got
crazy.
my black belt, man. I say, man, I have a 10 years in the black belt, man. When I saw already like Master One, you know, like crazy, like it's
It's
crazy.
coming up for me now. It's coming up. It's getting scary.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah, 2 more years. 2 more
yeah,
years.
yeah.
It goes quick.
It's go quick, man. Enjoy, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time. I feel like it's really important to enjoy your prime because so it's not gonna take forever. You know, one day you need to say, man, let's let's move to the next chapter. You know.
Would you say that it's just important to not take like these times for granted? You know, to kind of
Yeah,
just
like I
appreciate.
think, like try to enjoy, like do your best to, you know, give your everything you can, be 100% focused, you know, because you're gonna miss in that time, man. You're gonna
Yeah.
miss. Yeah,
Well,
it's really nice to be in there, like, competition feeling every weekend.
yeah, yeah. I,
Be
be,
prepared to words.
oh,
Yeah,
man, if only Worlds was happening. Dude,
yeah,
I remember watching you when I was like a blue belt kid, and I was always seeing you at Worlds, and I mean, making the finals every year. What were those experiences like for you? I mean, I don't even really know a general question, but I always relate to you, like watching you when I was like coming up in the ranks, and always being really impressed with your game, and just, I don't know. Tell me about those first few years of black belt at Worlds. Like,
yeah. To
those
be
had to
honest,
have been.
was super natural, because I always have a good, very great results in the lower belts, and then was
Hmm.
something for me, like, kind of like, of course the black belt is the big deal, like a lot of people have a great results in the lower belts, and they when they get the black belt, you don't see the face anymore.
Yeah.
And but for me, man, it was something natural, man. Like,
Hmm.
I don't feel like was. Of course, when you start to get finals, when you start to be recognized, people start to know you and expect for you. Is a little bit more pressure. You know
Hmm.
how what I talk about.
Yeah.
Exactly what I talk about. Uh, but anyway, I always, for me, I was always like natural. I never
Yeah.
feel like or something I work for. I think
Yeah.
like or something I deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I started
I
training
was
on
just
like 13. Like, I always train hard, always be 100% focused, always be an athlete, you know.
mhm.
And I, yeah,
I felt like for me, maybe you can tell me what you think about this. Like, I guess for me it was pretty natural as well. Like, I've been training since I was a kid too, and
yeah,
I always kept the focus and everything. And I always knew that I was going to compete at black belt. But I remember like a little bit when I first got there, I would look at some of the big names I'd be fighting. I'd be like,
yeah.
oh shit,
Yeah,
this is real.
first time I fought Fredson Paixão, man, was the
Hmm.
semifinals of the Worlds, and my first Worlds 2005, I think 2005,
That was
and
first worlds at black belt.
as a black belt,
Hmm.
2005.
It goes back.
You know how I old, now you know how I old I am. So that day I was like, man, I'm gonna fight Fred. So I having like watching him forever, and I'm gonna fight him. So it was fun, but it is what it is. I need to go there and get a new challenge.
Yeah. Do you feel like if you were to look at now, you would want to change anything about how you were then? For me, so like example for
Yeah,
me, I would always, I think I wouldn't lose the match before I went there, but I would allow
a
doubts
lot
to
of
be in my mind
concerns.
because I'm like, shit, I'm gonna fight Cobrinha, I'm gonna fight Hoffa. These are guys I idolize, and I try to mimic them. And how am I supposed to deal with this?
Yeah,
What would
for sure,
did you have
man.
that same issue?
I feel the same. I feel like it's important when we start to find the black belt, we don't respect that guys. You need
Hmm.
to, you know what I mean? Like, we need to respect as what they are, like, what they have achieved, but you need to like go for it, man. You need to go to
Yeah.
end. Like, try to don't bring too much, because when you start to think too much about the guy gonna fight, you forget
Hmm.
what you have to do. Then you just think about the guy, like, it doesn't make much sense, huh?
Yeah, I'll never forget. Like, we were both in that division at ADCC in 2015, and I remember like I knew I was gonna fight Cobrinha early on. I fought him in the quarters, and
Yeah, because
like
semi
same
chance.
teams. Yeah, and I remember like I just had that feeling where I was just giving him so much respect. I respected his passing so
Yeah,
much that I was just being very defensive. And I don't know if the result would have changed. I knew I still had a lot to grow, and my game still needed to evolve, and there was things I needed to work on. But I definitely conceded too much respect to him at that
yeah,
point. Where
man. I
I
see. I can see like clear, especially when you fight now. The way how you're going for now is so different than a few years ago, man. I feel like uh now you know who you are. You know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
like, you're good. You can be that guys, and you feel like I really like the way how you're fighting now, man.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
I think it became trying not to be like anybody else and just trying to be myself. You know.
That's the thing, Johnny.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. The thing is like try to train to get better every day, and do
Yeah.
your best and beat you. That's the thing. Because in the end of the day, it's this. I really believe it's this. In the end of the day, it's not about beat the other guy.
Yeah.
It's try like all the gaps you have. Is study your game. Try to get better. Uh, in the situations you are not good. Yeah, I think that's the thing, man.
What do you think about this? Like, maybe it's kind of what it sounds like you're alluding to a little bit. For me, like something that was working well recently, like kind of having this mindset where I would never really train for any particular tournament. I was training more just to focus on getting better, focus on improving. And if I can, constantly make small improvements, that'll lead to the results in competition. Where instead of trying to think about winning this gold medal at this tournament, if I can just do this little better at the gym, that'll help me, get closer to doing that. Was
I
that?
agree. I agree
Yeah.
100%. I think it's the best way to do it. Of course, I feel like it's important to your coach. Of course, you have amazing coach, but it's important to your coach understand like what type of training you are doing because like I say close to the words like 1 month to fight the words you need to do more like sparring and specific situations and then like after that you need to start to put more techniques and more drills to start to evolve more your technique and try to put some new tools to your game. And I think this is something your coach has to do. But as you as an athlete, is like be consistently. It's something a lot of people ask me, man, who is the better guy you training? I say, man, it's Kafa. And then people say, but why? Because he's always consistent, man. Rafa is the type of athlete he's always consistent. He's every day in the same pace, like the same
Yeah.
focus, always in the same page. I feel like that's the thing. A lot of people, let's say they win a tournament and say, I don't need to train that much anymore.
Yeah.
Then when you start to going down.
Yeah. For me, I always felt like being consistent was important. So, like,
It
along
is.
the lines of like focusing on just making improvements, but never really changing the training. Like, if you win, I'll still be at the gym. You lose, of course I'm still at the gym.
Yeah.
The training for me was never like this. It was always like kind of staying steady. Of
I
course,
can see, man. I can see
the
it.
the
I
the,
follow you.
the
I follow you.
you do. I see that now. I'm like, man, this guy probably doesn't even know me, but
I know you, but
no, but yeah, like I always felt like it was important to keep a consistent training. Was that something that you always kind of focused on as well, instead of like going through like this training before and then you just stop after? It was always
and the other thing is be an athlete, man. I feel like I have a lot of fighters and I have athletes. It's important to be an athlete, 100% athlete, like André Galvão, people who is really like athlete, eat well, think about your conditional training, think about your rest. I think all these things make the difference the day of the tournament.
yeah,
When
absolutely.
you give your best, you can perform your best. There's no way to give your best if you give 80%.
Yeah,
If you give 75%, you're not going to perform 100%.
yeah. You always want to go into a tournament feeling like you did absolutely everything you could and you did everything right.
Yeah.
Because especially at the highest level, you do one or two things that maybe like you shouldn't have been doing. Made wrong choices or something
You're
like
going to
that.
lose.
You're gonna, yeah. It's the little things.
Yeah.
Dude, it's actually crazy at the highest level how small the difference is between like world's gold medal and maybe losing in quarters or something like that. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It drives you. Does it drive you crazy sometimes when you think about that?
Yeah, man. Let me think about like I lost a gold medal in worst for one half a decision, man. It's like half a decision. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. The level, and especially now, I feel the level now is like it's super high, man. The level now is super good. I feel guys are doing a great job, man. You guys are training hard. You guys are 100% focused on that. And now you guys have more opportunities as well, And
Yeah.
that's the reason why I feel like you guys are getting better involved. I feel like Jiu-Jitsu is much better now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think that is? I think it's like people at a younger age taking it more seriously.
For sure.
Like there was
I think the other thing I really believe, Johnny, I feel like the coach now is much better than before.
the coaches.
the
Yeah.
coaches. I feel the
Hmm.
coaches, they have a more knowledge, they have a more experience, uh, they share more. Like you guys have
Yeah.
more information now, like the internet's, the internet helps a lot,
Yeah.
so you can see what's your, only if you're lazy, you don't know what's your opponent gonna do. Only if you're lazy, if you don't like to study, or like some people don't like to study, but
Yeah.
if you're the type of guy like to study and see, or have at least have uh, I understand what's gonna happen, it's there. It's so easy.
Yeah, that I feel like that's why you start seeing like these young guys get good so fast because the not I'm not gonna call them old
Yeah,
generation,
no,
but the
you think how
but
old
I wasn't even
we
referring
are.
to you. I wasn't even referring to you. But that the older generation was already in the scene. Like I feel like maybe your coaches, IBJF tournaments were a little bit less, were a little bit more foreign. People weren't as aware of the rules, and now there's like real strategy, and that like you and Galvao and all these guys can really like implement on their students. And then, like you said, there's so much access to information. Like when I
Yeah,
was a kid, there was no YouTube
yeah,
to learn all this information. I just learned from my instructor and maybe some people he learned from.
yeah.
But
And I feel, man, especially like I have we have a competition kids gym here, and
mhm.
I feel like was making the entire difference from the last year results from this year's results in the pen kids was the way how we train them, because I feel like a lot of times we spend time, especially for a competitor, not overall, not for other people, but I think for the competitor, you can uh, you can train them with the positions, uh, like you see better results in competition overall. Like let's say, I know what type of positions work very well in competition. If you work that type of positions, you're gonna have results. Like I
Yeah,
feel like back in the time we spend too much time doing things, you don't lose much.
yeah. What was it that you did in the past that
Like
wasn't as effective?
because think about, if you if you like I say, when my kids now, they have a game, they have a game. I build in them a game. They know like the option 1, 2, and 3. It's
Hmm.
like kind of like too easy to then understand.
Yeah.
It's easy to then make the connections in the fight, uh,
Okay.
besides just give them positions.
Yeah.
I think like it's important for a competitor, uh, have your main game. Of course, you like sometimes you need to change during the fight,
Hmm.
but as you have if you have a main game, it's so much easier to guys, to put like new things in your game and understand like how the connections work. Because that makes the whole difference during the fight.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to coach them outside as well.
When you kind of give them certain things, when you get yeah, when you
Yeah,
kind of help them chain things together. Yeah.
yeah.
How many kids do you have? A pretty big kids program?
Yeah, man. Like, your kids program, man. You just opened 2 weeks, but I have been working, yeah, in a someone's academy for 4 years. We building a good team.
Nice.
But yeah, but the focus of our academy, the big focus is the kids program.
Yeah.
We have a we have such a great kids killer.
That's where it starts. Was that always something that you wanted to do, or was it something that you kind of found yourself
Man,
enjoying over time?
man, to be honest, like as I started teaching jiu-jitsu, I started to teach just 4 years ago, like as I moved to America. Of
Okay.
course, I have been teaching seminars and stuff, but like be a professor just 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And like in the beginning, I didn't enjoy much, but as you start to see the results of the kids, and how
Yeah.
they really train hard and they try to get better, I start to enjoy. And man, now is something I love, man.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love
It's
it.
got to be awesome to see the progress, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
the
you see,
biggest thing because
and
you
it's
did
nice to
something to
see you, and then you actually can see you, and then it's like it's amazing. And they
yeah.
believe in you. Whatever you say, they do it, man. They do it.
Yeah.
They don't hesitate. They just do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's such a good, and it's so good for the kids too. Like for me, I felt like I was very fortunate to have good coaches who instilled like good habits in me. So thinking from as a kid, how important that is, and now you see that on the other side.
Yeah,
it's cool to be a part of for sure.
so cool, man. Man, I have enjoyed so much this new like phase of my career. You know, being a coach, uh, care about academy. You know, like I have enjoyed so much, man. It's so nice.
Nice, man. I'm
Yeah,
happy to hear that. Was that
yeah.
something that you kind of like, say like 10 years ago when you were competing all the time? That was that something like, yeah, I can see myself doing that in 10 years,
No
or were you
way.
just thinking you were going to compete forever?
Yeah, like I really like gonna compete forever. I'm gonna do this forever. Then I think when you start to because man, like uh, as a jiu-jitsu competitor, of course you can make a good money competing. Like I especially now have a good price. Uh, they are paying better the tournaments. You can teach seminars and stuff. You can make a good money. The sponsors is much better than before.
Yeah.
But if you wanna live doing jiu-jitsu, you need to think about that. You know, as a competitor. You
Yeah.
know, right? But wasn't something I thought before. Like it's something just click and say, man, I'm gonna do that now. You know.
Yeah. 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 What
And
did you think you were going to do?
I really enjoy teaching. You know, I like to teach. I
Yeah.
really like it. I feel some people don't. I really enjoy it. It's something I like it.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
feel like it's tell me like, because you still compete every once in a while, but is it something like that it's easy for you to balance, or do you feel like you'd rather have one focus over the other? You know?
No, it's hard to balance. It's different, especially if you don't. I feel like for some people, it's a little easier if you have a high level training in your academy
Hmm.
because it's kind of like easy to balance, especially if you have the experience.
Yeah.
Because with the experience, you don't need to train as much you train in back in the time
Yeah.
because you know you can plan your training better, smart. You know, you don't need to like kick your ass every day in the academy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, you know. But I feel like if you don't have a high level training partners, it's hard.
Yeah. So you kind of have to make do with what you got.
Yeah.
What were you doing
But,
mostly? Like,
you know what, John? I feel like the hard part for me is don't have a coach every day, a professor who tell what to do. You
yeah,
know? Of course I know what I have to get better, but like people who watch you outside can give you better advice. You know.
yeah, of course.
You
You
know,
kind of
like
have to be able to, you kind of have to be able to motivate yourself and push yourself, and that's not always the easiest thing to do. But also, like to see what your mistakes are. You know,
yeah.
you need that outside look as well.
And when you have and the other thing, like when you have a students to care, you don't think just much about you. You know, you start to think about them as well.
Yeah,
Because
of
you know how it is. Like when you are at 100% athlete, you need to be a little bit selfish. It's no way to.
course.
It's the way how it is. You know, and when you start to have students, you wanna they get better. You wanna they evolve, and you wanna the program getting bigger. So it's something you need to put your focus on. It's that balance, and I feel like if you have uh, a guy who can tell what to do, a coach to tell like you're doing this, push you hard, push your limits, you know,
Hmm.
and help you keep you like motivation stuff. That helps for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like now a question? This is something I noticed because I think I was kind of like in a phase that you were for a while, where I'm not teaching anywhere. I don't have a gym. I just train at Marcelo's. I'll teach privates there, and maybe I'll teach some seminars around and stuff. But I remember I went through like a little phase of teaching more seminars. I was teaching a very, a lot of the same stuff. And I noticed the more I was teaching and the more I was explaining it, like I was understanding more like why I did. Do you
Yeah.
think you almost understand your game more and you understand like
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu more
man,
because of teaching?
I feel much like man, like 10 times better to them than when I was in my prime.
Yeah.
You know,
Go figure.
like 10 times better, man. Like technical, understand. Like the way how I see jiu-jitsu now is super different, man.
Hmm.
People, I remember like a Professor Robert Godoy. When I got my black belt, he say, "Man, now you're gonna start to understand." She say, "What is it, man? I'm black belt, like
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
crazy." And now, like I see, after 15 years of black belt, man,
Hmm.
I understand much better. You know, especially to share the knowledge to the students, to understand, to break down the techniques and see where they struggle with. Man, it's much easier. It's like, and even like when I training, I feel much better now than before, much better.
Yeah. you kind of have a why as to why you do the things that you do. I even noticed for me, like I would do things like I would do the Barambolos or whatever, or this or that, but I wouldn't really think about why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And and now I feel like I really have like the more I teach, the more I kind of have a deeper understanding of why I do certain things. I can imagine that being the same.
Like another thing, like when you start to teaching, you start to understand the concepts better, and the concepts make the whole difference, man. Like make a big difference in the game, you know, because you can apply the same thing from the different techniques, you know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just know one technique and you don't know how to apply the same thing from the other technique, you know.
But the more you explain it, the more you kind of understand
Yeah.
yourself.
More you explain, more times we spend. I think more time you spend teaching, you know, like every day, like the same way how you train every day, and time doing rolling and doing technique, and as you're teaching, the same thing. We evolve it exactly the same way. You know?
Yeah. So man, I've always seen you at black belt. I don't really know much about your background actually. Like I think I only started really watching the featherweights when I was like 2008, 2009. I mean, tell me about your background a little bit. Like you said, Godoy was your professor.
Yeah, Godoy Professor Roberto Tosi promoted the black belt. Then I moved to São Paulo to training with Leozinho, and and I was Brasa back in the time.
Okay.
And then when Brasa split, I was training already with Rafa, Gui, and Rio Claro, and Ramon. And André was a very good friend from Ramon, and they decided to make Atos, you know, to open a new thing, and they asked me if I want to be part, and here I am still.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Original.
I remember original, one of the OGs. I'm always it's always cool to see Atos now and see how it's grown, and it happened really fast too. Yeah, I remember you guys were like that really small team, and I remember that one year. What year was it?
When I was so small, man.
You guys had the white collar shirts. You guys were like very.
Like ridiculous.
I think that was like 2010.
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah, and it was like 10, 15 of you.
Yeah.
You know, and to see how big it is now, and just over 10 years.
Yeah.
You know,
in 2008, when there was no gi with I think it was eight people. Or like it was me, Rafa, Gui, Ari, and some like black belts. All the 8 guys got gold. And you got the podium, you know, like with just 8 guys. It was like, but the team was so small, John. Was so small. The city was like this, nothing to do. We just trained like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. How were those sessions? I remember like I wouldn't hear much, but like me as like someone who's like gonna be a featherweight as well, and seeing like all the featherweights together, I was like, I wanna be like these guys, you know. I wanted to be like in a room like that, and it just seemed like from what I got, the training was pretty intense. Or what were those days like?
It was so intense, John. It was like sometimes, to be honest, like Ramon, they need to like separate us and let us training with the regular students, because you know, like when we start to just try to win the training, and then we stop involved, you know, stop to get better. But of course, it was great because you can see, like, you can have a world tournament final every day, you know.
Yeah.
Make you sharp, you know, like, and you start to have a better confidence, you know. Like, I remember go to the competition and I knew I can be anyone. Like, I have a zero question in my mind, you know, when you shake hands, you know you can be the guy, you know.
Yeah.
But it's important to have a balance and understand like that training hard every day. If you don't train smart, if you don't have some people who to let you flow and let you do different things, we start to get stuck, you know, like you start to like do the same thing, you just start to train to win by advantage, and then you stop get better. You feel the same way?
I'm the exact. I keep track of the points and everything.
Yeah, I still do it. I still do it now, you know.
Even with your students.
Yeah, I do it.
there'll be some guys where like we're super competitive and almost to like, you know, a little too intense. And I remember Marcelo actually,
To be honest, I keep doing the same thing, but like,
dude, I'm the worst. I'll even like go with, you know, blue belts, and I won't let them do any. They have everything they do to me. They have to earn. It doesn't.
my students the same way.
Yeah,
Sometimes I let they get something, but the most of
maybe
the
a sweet,
time I make them
maybe
pay
a
the
sweet.
price.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm stubborn. My ego is still here, you
Yeah,
know.
me too.
But
Me too.
it's
I think like competitors like that.
it's an interesting balance because now you can probably say that you like understand your game more than you did then. You probably your game is more evolved, not just over time, but also being able to work with your students and teaching more. Whereas then that was like a period of time when you just, I mean, obviously it was very effective, but it makes you tough. It makes you mentally confident.
Yeah.
That had to have been like the biggest thing more than anything, like you were saying.
Yeah, for sure. I think like training in a room with killers, building confidence. Like I think that's the main thing, the mindset. Especially the way how Ramon coach, man. Like Ramon is very intense.
Yeah,
Like he's not like he's not the type of guy who's gonna give you let's say like a magical way, a magic technique. He's not the guy like a Léo Vieira. Léo Vieira is like super technical, he does everything. But man, Ramon is the type of guy who's gonna go inside your mind. You know, he's going inside your mind. He let you like on fire. You go to the competition like you think you're the best, and that's it. He brings this to the table. You know?
was he just like a very a motivational, or was he
Very
just
motivation, and he's like he's always like put you is he's call you to tell you some stuff, and like he's always give you the words you need, you know, like sometimes you're not in the mood to training hard, and like, you know, he's always working in your mindset, man, always,
yeah?
you
I
know.
would believe that having like black belt students, or I guess he was like you were his students,
Yeah,
but I can imagine like once you're at black belt, you pretty much like for you know what you want to do, you know your game, you know the techniques you need, but it's just sometimes it's having that motivation, it's having that push. Even I notice when I compete, like I'm never concerned about like having someone in my corner that's going to tell me exactly what to do, what grip to make. I 9 times out of ten,
it's more about like give you that outside confidence, right?
yeah. Like I have a couple people that I go to, and like you know, Marcelo, and then a friend of mine from Ryan Halls. You know, Adam Benayoun. He's good because he knows how to explain things, but he'll also be like someone that kind of just knows how to motivate me properly. You know, I always feel like that's beneficial. When you were competing, was it always Hamon that was coaching you when you were there, or?
Yeah, it was Samoa and Gui, man. He always helped me in the corner. He's always loved to do that. He's always
Mhm.
liked to be coaching, and he's like always helped me
That's
with
kind of always been his thing, being more
yeah,
of the coach.
yeah. He's like a lot, man. He's really
Yeah.
yeah.
What was I mean, not to like get just too much into just training and basic stuff like that, but what was like kind of like a regular day training out there? I'd
Yeah,
love to know that.
was like was I think the competition training was 9 a.m.
Okay.
or 10, I remember. Then you rest, and the second training was just drills and some
Hmm.
speed drill. Ramon like love speed drills.
Yeah.
Was some speed drills at afternoon and night, depends the day. Was a conditional training or training again. I always 3 times, 3 sessions a day. You know,
3 training sessions a day?
3 sessions a day. Morning, I think it was 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. or something like that. More like drills and techniques and stuff. And at night, or conditional training, or more rolling. Yeah, porrada.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some days, I remember like I think Wednesday when if he still we are like too tired, he's give us a break, like at
Yeah.
night, or like just 1 training a day.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like something that'd be very hard to sustain for a long time.
Super hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Super hard. I feel uh let's say if I have a chance to have athletes like the way how he did, I think I'm gonna let they train twice a day. You know, no more than 2 trains a day,
Yeah.
and for sure break down Wednesday, just like one session Wednesday. I feel more enjoyable. That's the
Yeah.
word.
Did it ever feel like when it's so hard all the time, it's probably hard to appreciate. It's hard to enjoy
Yeah,
it, and it
it's so
almost feels
hard
like
to
a
appreciate.
job at that point.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so hard to appreciate. It's so hard, so hard. Like I remember, like some days Wednesday I'm already overtrained. Like I don't want to go to the academy. I think
Yeah.
3 times a day is too much. I, I
Yeah.
I don't think you need to.
Well, there's a point where you can definitely overdo it, and then it almost becomes like it could lead to like negative results. Not saying obviously it seems like almost everyone there for a period of time had great results. A lot of the main competitors, but I can see how that can also be too much as well.
The other thing is, I feel like it's important to understand your body, man.
Mhm.
I think, of course, some people say, I understand my body, and you start to get lazy, like you say, but you always can push a little bit more. Uh, but yeah, like I think you overdo it is not good. I think it's not
Yeah.
good.
I remember there was definitely times when I would like overtrain, I would overdo it. And I would get to the point, especially before Worlds, I'd have this mindset. I'd be like watching one of the fundamental classes before I start drilling again at night. And I'd be like, man, I wish I was that guy who was just kind of coming in for a session,
Yeah.
having a good time, meeting
And go
some
home
friends,
and happy.
and then go home and
You
just kind of like
you don't overthink about training after.
yeah, and they're like, I learned an armbar today.
Yeah.
I just want. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to be that guy for the day.
I know.
I don't want to do this all the time.
And you never like after training you go home and you still think about
Yeah.
about the training and you're going crazy, you cannot sleep, and the other day like you need to go into the academy.
Yeah. Did you ever have to like try to find a balance? Because for me, I actually noticed that I felt better performance-wise in training, performance-wise in competition, when I allowed myself to kind of find a balance. I went through this phase where I just assumed that I had to be miserable in training, and just completely dive myself into jiu-jitsu 24/7 to the point where I couldn't stand it after a period of time. But I'm not the person that goes out. I'm not really doing that. But just being able to socialize outside the mat, kind of do some other things to get my mind away from jiu-jitsu, I felt like was way better for me. So
for me as well. I feel like I enjoy much more like doing different stuff than just stay on the mats like 8 hours a day, and
yeah.
like that, because you start to be in that zombie mood, when you
Yeah.
like just training, like walk like
And
crazy.
then how do you expect? Yeah, how do you expect to get better as well when you're like that, because your mind isn't even like
It
there.
happen, if
Yeah.
you like a happen. How are you gonna perform
Yeah.
if it's not happy? You need to be happy.
No, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then it's
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah.
What's the point? Yeah, but it's hard to find that balance.
It's hard.
It's because now you have experience. And when you start to listen like high level athlete, man, I train 8 hours a day. Then you say, man, I need to do this. I need to do that. You get like.
Oh well, I mean, I definitely blame you guys for my. I blame you guys for my obsession because
we did that.
You started it. If everyone is all mentally burnt out of training, it's because they were motivated by you guys starting that at Atos. I would watch any highlight video of your training. I would try to figure out like what type of training you guys are doing.
Man. We did crazy things there, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. So like when I was at,
but it was crazy.
When I was at Henzo's, like Marcelo's was a bit more structured. Like there was classes to take, and you really you couldn't train too much any other time. But Henzo's, I can kind of do whatever I wanted. So I would literally I would find out oh, they did training these times, so I'm gonna do that. I'll pull a couple people to do a session with me. I'll do the regular class, and then I'll do another session myself. But I found that to be less enjoyable after a while. How long did that kind of group stay together out there?
I was pretty much 5 years, John.
5 years of that. 5 years. Wow.
5 years, man. 5 years. Was 5 very intense.
Yeah.
I think me doing Calazans, Guto Campos, Rafa and Gui was like this, man. Even Jason Hunt, the guy, Jason from Merak, right?
Yes. I see he's been commenting on here too.
He was the first gringo to go to Brazil and train.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
he trained with us there, man. He say, "You guys crazy," like he like, "How you guys do that?" And like he did it good there, and he was on the first one. Then JT came there with the I think it was JT and some couple guys from White Iron.
Okay.
When JT was where
Was JT out there? Oh, you said JT. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, purple belt. Yeah,
that's funny.
that's funny. How you do your training now, Gianni? How you balance your training now?
Man, you know what? Like, I went through a phase where I started feeling like not burnt out of training, but I remember after ADCC, I remember like I would always train afternoon and night. It was like the training of Marcel's would be 12:30 and then 7 p.m. And I felt like I was almost doing too much after a while because I would do, drilling before Marcelo's first class. I would do strength conditioning in between, and then I would drill again before the night class. So total would be like, 5 to 6 hours a day or something like that. And doing that for like 3 months before a big tournament was difficult. And I realized like I was almost hurting myself. I felt like I found myself getting sick more often. I was getting hurt more often.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have gotten away with that when I was 22, but I'm 28 now. Not that that's old, but it's like you start feeling things more. You don't recover the same.
Yeah.
So this year, before everything before competitions went away, not that I was doing that much less, but I'd be training like in the morning, like 7 a.m.
Okay.
Where it's more like people who go to work.
Man, I really enjoy training.
You like the mornings?
I
like it too.
I have been training 6:30.
Oh man, that's early. Yeah.
I
would never be able to do that a couple of years ago, but
me too. Man, now I love. I feel so good because like 8:30, 9, you already,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling, yeah. So I was doing that, drilling once, and then doing Marcelo's we don't have a competition class, but it's like his competition class.
He doesn't have a competition like a regular.
No, it's always just the same. But like those early mornings, I would use to kind of experiment, try new things, and then the afternoon would be the hard rounds. And it was nice because then after that, maybe I would do strength conditioning a couple times a week or not, but I'd be done with my day by like 4 or 5 p.m.
This is great because we have a period of time to recover, right?
Yes. So and it also gives me
go home, watch TV, do whatever.
I was finding myself at periods of time like going to a movie, stuff I would never do, going to dinner with a friend or something on a weeknight. I'm like, when would I ever do this? But also still being able to train enough to where I felt like I was still improving at the same time. So I did find out later on that it was important to kind of like find that balance.
Yeah,
it's like a healthier lifestyle almost.
For sure.
Yeah.
And how you feel about conditional training, like or just doing jiu-jitsu?
You know what's funny? I'm like back and forth with it. I do something now, especially now because I can't do anything else. But I went through like a 2-year phase where I didn't do anything, and to be honest, like I had good results. Like I really didn't.
Because I have been like I've been 2 years like just doing jiu-jitsu and I feel much better now.
Yeah.
Just doing jiu-jitsu. I'm feeling.
I think a lot of that
conditional, like,
I feel like a lot of that is in your mind.
Yeah.
If you don't allow it to bother you, then I think you're gonna be fine. But I think something with people.
I agree. It's all about
It's all about there. It's all about how you feel. Like you said, if you feel happy, if you feel good, then you'll compete better.
Yeah.
But also this, like, people ask me a lot. They're like, oh, how should I balance training and working out if I have a limited schedule? I would always tell them, if you have a limited schedule, always prioritize training first.
For sure.
Than doing like conditioning. If you don't have the time for it, if you don't have the energy to do it, I wouldn't worry about that in that case. I feel like that's for me, it's always been kind of supplementary. Like you kind of do it when you can, if you can, but it shouldn't be like your main thing.
Yeah, I feel the same way because sometimes like if you push too much in the conditional training, because especially like the coaches wanna try to kill us because they know we can push hard and you will push hard. Doesn't matter like and then like when you go to the jiu-jitsu, you're so tired you cannot even perform. It's so sore, you're so burnt out, you don't even want to train.
Yeah. This program that I'm doing now, I like because the guy knows like combat athletes. He works with MMA people, and I never feel like super sore after it. I feel like it's something to help me keep from any injuries and
Yeah,
just
I think this is important.
kind of maintaining, you
Yeah.
know. But I remember dealing with some strength coaches where like literally I couldn't walk into training that night. I'm like, this cannot be good.
I
Because I'm
feel
gonna
that.
train like crap right now. How is this gonna
I
work?
feel you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like those. I can imagine you down in Brazil with all the guys. Like when you're doing that, I'm sure you guys were doing a hard strength and conditioning
Yeah,
session.
like Ramon, as we started doing conditional training, man, Ramon put us to train 5:30 in the morning, conditional training 5:30. Before then, we have like an hour to rest.
Yeah,
Then you need to train at 10. Then, man, like after 1 month, everyone was like overtrained. They say, no, we're done with that. You know?
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think conditional training helps the way how you say now. You know,
Mhm.
more about keep you away from injuries, try to prevent injuries. So you try to find a very good coach, you know, who could understand you, understand what you do, because they don't know how we push hard during training. Jiu-Jitsu is
Yeah.
very intense, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's funny, but you also have to be open with them too. So like this coach that I'm with is very good. I like his stuff, but I don't think he realized. I don't think I really like. I probably downplayed how much I actually train.
Uh-huh.
So he was like giving me, and this I should have just been open. For me, I always wanted to do more. You know,
Yeah.
so if he gave me hard workouts, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't,
Yeah.
you know, he's like, how much you training? I'm like, I'm training normal, you know, but it'd be like 5 hours a day of training, and then I would do a circuit at night at like 9 p.m. And I remember feeling horrible, you know. So it's about like being able to tell them what you're doing too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we don't like to tell people we are tired, you know.
Yeah. I
Kind of
can
like a
be that
lie.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just want to push a little bit more, and, you know, don't be like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the way how we are.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't. It's hard for us to
We
accept it
cannot
since.
handle it.
Yeah. How was the training different in? So after you left, you know, Brazil, were you in San Diego for a while
Yeah.
with Baha?
I did some camps there in San Diego with Professor Andrea, and then after that I went to California to training California to Redondo and Black House
Hmm.
to train MMA. Yeah, I
Okay.
spent some time there training MMA in Black House with Anderson, Lyoto, all these guys.
What kind of started that for you? Was it like helping guys out at first, and then all of a sudden you
Yeah,
started getting into it?
to be honest, Johnny, I think I was prepared to the Worlds in 2012 or 13, and I got hurt.
Hmm.
You know, and Ramon asked me if I could help him with Anderson. You
Okay.
know, then I started to help Anderson and Eric Silva. He asked me if I could be his coach to his camp training. Then I started to help him. Then when I started to get involved again, you know,
Yeah.
in the MMA, I was exactly like this. Then when I decided make some like few fights in MMA fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine that also maybe like a motivation behind that. Of course, maybe you look at it and you're like, maybe you're kind of not sure if you should have done that. But did you ever get a feeling like doing jiu-jitsu for so long, maybe it was nice to be working on something different?
Yeah, at that time I felt that. You know, I
Yeah.
was kind of like tired of doing the same thing, and but to be honest, like because man, that guy is the I train MMA. I train only with superstars, you know, and you feel like the way how they make money, stuff like that. You know, like then you say, man, I can do this. Why not? You know,
Yeah.
I try. You know.
That's awesome. Yeah. Man, so we got like a few minutes left. I wanted to ask, do you use finger tape at all? How are your hands? Can I see your
I
hands?
use tape a lot. Yeah.
You use tape a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, your hands are
It's bad.
Those are real spider guard hands right there.
Yeah.
Right. Mine are like I accidentally jammed my finger. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I have this one really bad.
Yeah. Do they hurt now? Do you ever like for me like I'm going like this and I feel pain. I'm probably also weak after 2 months of not training as much, but
I feel the same thing. Like I feel tape really helps, man. I like I, when I train with no tape, I feel bad after, you know.
I
I
feel
don't,
vulnerable.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too. I like to, and I feel strong when I take my hands, you know.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah,
I feel like when I feel more susceptible to people breaking grips easy because I kind of let go a little bit.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
when someone's gonna break a grip really hard, I'm like, take it, take it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if you have a sponsor or anything, but I'd love to send you guys some tape for you and your students.
Good. Yeah.
You know, we started grip tape recently, and
Okay.
you know, I'd love for you to try it out and see how you like it.
Man, how you tape like you do like a 2X, right?
I do 2X's, so I even tape it over the middle knuckle here. Like I'll go X. Well, I can't. I'll go X and then X here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a video on that someday.
Yeah, do it.
Why? How do you do it?
Because I do just 1X. I do just 1X here, like in the,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And then
Yeah, no.
I leave this part here to don't break the tape, you know.
I mean, our tape it won't break.
I know.
It won't break. Don't worry.
Okay. Show me how you do it. I'm gonna try.
I will. I'll make that happen. Yeah, that helped me give a little bit more, even more support. So I felt like a rock climber. You know, my hands felt. So man, before this cuts us off, I just want to say thank you for doing this. This was a lot of fun.
Johnny.
It was super nice.
I appreciate it, man.
Hey, stay safe out there and take care of yourself.
Good luck next year.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Hey, take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, man.